Hello. Hello. Good morning, everyone. I'm CA Lakshit Khurdia, moderator of this webinar. We are delighted to welcome you all in the webinar being organized by Continuing Professional Education CPE Committee of ICAI. It is my pleasure to be a moderator for the 71st webinar on MSME Samadhan Act 2006 and GST Appellate Tribunal. So in a short while, we'll start this webinar. Firstly, I would like to apprise you about the CPE committee. The role of a chartered accountant is evolving continuously to accept newer responsibilities in a dynamic global environment. The future of CA profession depends on being flexible and open to innovation. Therefore, the need of the hour is to innovate as per the requisites of the contemporary business environment and accordingly update the curriculum and education system of chartered accountancy course. The committee also believes that members of ICI should look beyond the traditional areas of practice and seek and explore new areas of business and profession. And hence, the CPE committee is mentoring the members by providing guidance through various workshops, seminars, national conferences, background materials, etc., etc. And simultaneously by encouraging young and dynamic professionals to grow as a speaker or master of ceremonies, as we may say, in CP programs. The program for this evening is as follows. We have two sessions of 1 hour each, and topics are firstly the MSME Samadhan Act 2006, a powerful tool for rapid financial dispute resolution for MSMEs in India. And the second topic is GST Appellate Tribunal appeal filing procedures and rules. So our eminent speakers will talk about above mentioned two emerging areas of professional interest. So now I would like to introduce CA Dr. Arun Kumar Jain. So he'll be our speaker for the first topic. So he possesses over 3 decades of professional experience and holds a PhD in law along with TISA certificate level 1 in AI, that is hosted by ICI, and ICAI certifications in concurrent audit and forensic audit. He is currently appointed as a mediator at the Jaipur Mediation Center, Rajasthan High Court by the Rajasthan Legal Services Authority. He brings extensive experience in statutory bank audits, including central statutory audits and PSU audits, and also serves as counsel before MSME facilitation councils in Jaipur and across India. So now I would invite Dr. Arun Kumar Jain to take the first topic.
Thank you, Lakshit. It's my pleasure to be associated with the CP committee, ICI, and I'm thankful to the chairman of the CP committee and all other persons to give me this opportunity. And I welcome all the participants presented across India and across world in this seminar. And as you mentioned the topic today, that MSME Samadhan Act 2006, a powerful tool of rapid dispute mechanism about the financial dispute among the MSMEs. So the MSMEs, I would say that MSMEs are the backbones of India, since a lot of things before this that presentation I would like to share with you. This is Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises MSME Samadhan delayed payment monitoring system, which the government of India has made for the redressal of MSME Samadhan. So I would like to first throw some light on the MSMEs and the definition of MSMEs a little bit, so that you will be knowing that what is MSME exactly. So the thing is that MSME micro and small and medium enterprises plays a critical role in India's economic growth, contributing significantly to the GDP, exports, and job creation. Recognizing their importance, the government has periodically revised the MSME classification criteria to better reflect the changing business environment and help entrepreneurs access essential benefits such as loans, subsidies, and other things. So we would like to say that what is MSME? MSME stands for micro, small, and medium enterprises. All the participants, must understand that medium, small, and micro, three types of enterprises are covered in MSMEs, which are currently doing the business in India. And classification is based on the investment in the plant and machinery and equipments and annual turnover. And recently, in the 2025, the definition of MSME has been revised. The MSME is playing the key roles in the employment generation, GDP contribution, and exports. As per the revised norms notified in 2020 and updated through 2025, MSMEs are categorically uniform across manufacturing and service sector using these thresholds. Category MSME starts from micro organizations, and the investment limit is based in the 2025 2.5 crore in the investment, and as per a turnover 10 crore rupees shall be covered under the micro type of an MSMEs. And in the case of the small MSMEs, it is the investment limit is 25 crore and turnover limit is 100 crore. About what we are saying about the medium enterprises, and this is the 125 crore rupees the investment limit, and the turnover limit is the 500
Uh,
crores. So this is
sir,
yeah,
Lakshit here. The screen is not visible.
screen not visible.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm,
We'll have to share the screen on the Zoom tab.
mm, the screen is not visible. Let me share the screen. Mm, mm. Is it now visible?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the little bit which I was telling you in the MSME Samadhan Act 2006, an effective mechanism for fast and financial dispute resolution. And this covers under the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Government of India. This is all about the what is MSME. The categories which I am showing, that 2.5 crore is the micro organization and 10 crore is the turnover limit. Small organization 25 crore and 100 crore is the turnover limit, which has been tremendously increased in the 2025 Amendment Act. And in the medium enterprises, it is 125 crore rupees the investment limit and 500 crore is the turnover limit. So before entering into the any redressal system of the MSME, we must understand that our what is our client is. If suppose our client is not, does not possess in the MSME category, then the redressal system is not available to that client also. So micro, small, and medium, three things we have to understand. And this is 2.5 crore, 25 crore, and 125 crore. So all the three figures possesses the 25 crore. So that will be very easy. 2.5 to 25 and 125, and 10, 100, and 500 crore rupees is the turnover limit. So in both the cases, the definitions, the MSME shall be covered in this category. Now the thing is that MSMEs, why MSME matters to India 2006. There are 606 crore MSME units operating across the India, many in the rural area and semi-rural areas. 30% India's GDP is covered by the MSMEs and 45% of the exports. So you just see the tremendous contribution into the India's GDP as far as the and export into the export of the MSMEs contribution to India's growth. They generate 12 crore, 11 crore jobs, making MSME the second largest employment after the agriculture. 11 crore job, it means it's a huge number. Timely access to the working capital is critical for their survival and the growth. So this is something which we can see about the MSME's importance into the India. And the problem is the MSME often supplies the large corporates, PSU, and the government departments on credit, and payments are frequently delayed for beyond agreed credit periods. Delayed payment block their working capital, increases the borrowing cost, and push many units toward the sickness or the closure. Traditionally, civil suits, arbitration are the time consuming and expensive for the small enterprises. This slide is throwing some light that why MSME Act 2006 was brought, because the traditional methods to get the remedy into the civil courts are very time consuming, and the a very lot of efforts are to be put, and long queues of the cases into the courts of the civil. So why this mechanism was introduced, to give a little bit help and a little bit boost to the MSMEs as far as their financial recoveries are concerned. What is MSME Samadhan? We would like to give some light on that. An online delayed payment monitoring system launched by the Ministry of MSME in 2017. So this slide, Alakshit ji, whether this slide is, I mean to say, this sharing is able to be.
Yeah, it is visible.
So this is the MSME Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises site, which says about the MSME cases to be filed. And icons, if the participants are able to see that, it says that in which language you want it is Hindi and English. Both the languages are there. So if you are comfortable in Hindi, then otherwise in English. So I am putting into the English. Then this another tab on the screen and this site is the case filing for entrepreneur MSME study. This is the gateway of MSME Samadhan delayed payment monitoring system. If you want to enter into the MSME redressal system, then case is to be filed, and this is the tab, and this is the tab's status of the check your status about the case, that where your case is going on, and this is requires Udyog Aadhar Udyam registration number, by which you can find out that where my case is going on. So this is a little bit MSME Samadhan. MSME Samadhan site to case filing is the ODR portal now, and this is the address odr.msme.gov.in. So you can go to that site for the finalization or for the filing the cases as far as now this is concerned. So a little bit we can say that. Some changes were made in the 2025 budget about the MSME limits, etc. Because you must be knowing that this limit has been increased from 1 crore to 2.5 crore as far as the investment is concerned, and the turnover is concerned 5 crore to 10 crore. And the reason is that higher limits are given since the devaluation of the money, amount of the money and rate of the pricing. All these things has imposed the government to increase the limits. So this is the MSME new data. Now the thing is that this is the site for MSME, and if we see that post portal address I have shown you provide a single window where micro and small enterprises can file complaint on the delayed payments, track status of every filed MSME felicitation councils across the India. So this I am showing to you over the live site, that how you can see the check your status about your case. You can file the case on this site. You can go to this site, the odr.msme.gov.in, which is saying that you can file your case in ODR scheme guidelines, knowledge center, etc. All this there about the MSME case filing. You have to log in the site with the Udyam registration number, and you have to put into your facts. Some fact sheet is there that about this tab shares that agriculture age-wise category about the MSME reports. So this is whole report is saying that MSME age-wise category, amount-wise pendency reports, central ministry, central departments, application filed by MSMEs. This says that if I'm going to this site, the 1714 is the amount payable as per the application filed so far, 689.45 crores rupees. Application disposed by MSEFC councils. MSEFC councils are the first redressal system of the MSME. MSME Samadhan starts from the MSEFC council. All the participants, please be focused on this in these wordings. These are the key wordings of MSME Samadhan. MSEFC councils. MSEFC council means medium and small enterprises felicitation councils. These are the felicitation council which are operating in all the states and works at three levels as far as the Rajasthan is concerned, and in other states also there are the three levels. Which are the levels? The felicitation councils are at the district level, and the felicitation council which is for the big cases, HQ2 category they are false, and the felicitation councils which are having a greater amount of council than that are HQ1 category. Above 75 lakh rupees outstanding cases amount, if there is there, that is there including the interest, then you have to go to the MSEFC councils at HQ1 category. 25 lakhs to 75 lakhs rupees is the pending amount including the interest thereon. Then you have to approach to the HQ2 MSEFC Central Council, which is operating at HQ level, and which is the cases are heard by Joint Commissioner level, etc. And HQ1 category, where the Commissioner of Industries listens the cases along with his colleagues in the council at HQ1 category. And the district level councils are headed by somewhere in deputy commissioner, at sector level officer, somewhere joint commissioner also sits at the district level felicitation councils. So if I say about the Rajasthan, there are some 7 councils at the district level. HQ1 is one council, and HQ1 is one council, HQ2 is one council. So this is some broad framework of the MSEFC councils. These are some data, dependencies, etc. of the MSMEs. Right. So we were showing some fact sheets to you, that some fact sheets we can show the financial state-wise report. You have to check other state-wise report, all categories amount report. Here you can see that all categories, central ministries, what is the matters pending in the statutory bodies, statutory PSUs, individuals, etc. So this is the some report for MSME about the fact sheet. So this is a little bit. I would like to bring your kind attention onto the some facts that application filed by MSME MSEs till date is somewhere. It is somewhere that the cases are being filed by MSMEs. Uh, 256,892 cases has been filed so far, and application mutually settled at 25,000. Though it looks that is a small number. 256,000 is the cases which have been filed, but settled is the lesser number. So this is some pending amount report, which is MSME councils is you are able to see that this is the pending say amounts reports, right? So this login is says about the official login. And application yet to be viewed by MSEFC Council till date is 57,000. Cases disposed by MSEFC Council are 52,000 cases. Though it looks the number is less, but still the things are going on. So this is the portal, and the problem of delay payment is the MSME often supplies to the large corporates, and payments are frequently delayed beyond the agreed credit period. Payment blocks the working capital we have seen. Online delayed payment monitoring system was introduced in 2017, and this provides a single window to MSME Samadhan. Brief details: MSME Samadhan is the government online mechanism to enforce the delayed payment. Yes, definitely it's a government mechanism only. The micro and small industry is the parent law for MSME. This is the parent law. This is the Act, MSME Act. This is the act only, wherein the chapter 5, section 15 to 24 especially deal with the delayed payments to the micro and small enterprises, and the act mandates time bound provide payment higher interest in the case of the delayed. The higher interest, please participants focus on this point. The higher interest, you will wonder to know that how serious the government is. The government is providing the RBI bank rate 3 times monthly compounding interest to the MSME for the delayed payment beyond 45 days. Yes, I am going to repeat the facts that after 45 days from the bills become due, after the bills become due, it means the 45 days of bill date, you have to you have to pay into the 45 days. But if your payment is delayed beyond 45 days, the interest starts with the 3 times of RBI bank rate, and that is that to monthly compound. So you see, it's a huge number. Suppose RBI bank rate is somewhere between some 5 to 2.5%. Today the RBI repo rate has been reduced by 0.25 0.25 basic paisa. So the bank rate currently was going around near to 6%. So 3 times is that 18% monthly compound. So it means the government is very much serious to be aware the all the non-payers that if you are doing this hardship to any MSME, then uh, you have to be taken seriously. Section 15 is a liability of buyers to make the payment within the 45 days if there is a written agreement. If there is no written agreement, payment must be made within 15 days. Section 16, interest for delayed payment. If buyer delays the payment, there must be compound interest 3 times of the bank rate. You please wonder, this is the major crux into the MSME Samadhan Act, that 3 times of the bank rate. You you will be wonder to see that the because being the MSME council, I have found in last years of my practice into the MSEFC councils that as soon as the learned buyer or the serious buyer, if come to know that every day the amount is getting increased by way of the 3 times penalty of bank interest, then the some serious buyer, or I am to say that some serious non-payer, those who are having the inclination not to take others' money, starts paying immediately. starts paying immediately. I am telling you, participants, please mind it. Starts to get the amount settled into the minutes. But the thing is, the MSME Samadhan, being a council, I have seen that those who are not having the intention to pay, then MSME mechanism is there to push up, to push up, to push up, to push up. But the thing is that you have to keep on the buyers pressuring or noticing, and all the steps like case the filing, after that conciliation process, arbitration process, some posting the notices on the walls of the factories and buyers offices, etc. Then after asking for the conciliation, asking for the arbitration, publishing into the newspaper. So all the measures are applied by the MSEFC councils to make buyers educated that you should pay the amount to the legal person, and legal amount should be paid immediately. So section 16 says the interest, section 17 says the recovery of amount due. MSMEs are legally entitled to recover principal amount and interest as per the section 16. Now the key provisions of the delayed payment, section 18 to 20. Reference to MSEFC councils can apply the MSME Samadhan portal, conduct the conciliation first in the structural, then arbitration, against appeal against the council decision. If the buyer wants to appeal, they must deposit 75% of the award amount upfront. This is the very big thing, that 75% of the amount is to be paid upfront if you want to go against the decision of the council. So participants, please come and look at this section 19, which says that if you are not serious and you have been awarded and you want to go for appeal, that 75% amount is to be deposited first. It means the MSEFC council is the apex body. Practically, it is the MSEFC council, those who are awarding for the cases, and 75% appeal amount of the award amount, if it is not deposited, then you cannot go for to the appeal higher to the MSEFC councils. So this is the main thing which the government is saying, that MSEFCs are the supreme authorities to settle these cases, because there is an appeal mechanism always available in India's judicial system. But you should be very much serious, that if you are really serious about the appeal, then first deposit the 75% of the total awarded amount. So this is the great thing which the government has done in the favor of MSMEs. Now section 20 says the establishment of MSE councils at the state level to handle the delayed payment, which I have been handled. Section 21 is the composition of the council. This is the MSME department official, industrial representatives, and the banks and the financial experts. Yes, of course, there are three types of department officials. There's as I told you earlier, somewhere it is headed by deputy commissioners, somewhere it is joint commissioner, and apex body is the commissioner sits into the MSME councils, which narrates all the cases and which hears the cases, along with the industrial representatives and the banks and the financial experts. Somewhere in the councils at the district level, local lead banks of that area officials are composed into the council. Section 22 is the disclosure by the buyer. Large amount must disclose unpaid MSME dues in their annual financial statement. Yes, of course, we being chartered accountants all are aware that Section 22 requires the disclosure annual financial statement, that what is the due of the MSME. You must all be aware about that. And last year we heard a lot of chows of this matter, that MSME councils and the disclosure of the MSME council. Section 23 overriding effects. MSME Act has supreme over other laws or contracts for delayed payments. Please, Section 23 come. Participants, please come to this point. Section 23 overriding effect. It says that MSME Act has supreme over other laws and the contracts for delayed payments. This is it's a great thing in favor of MSMEs to get their things done at government level and the judiciary level. And jurisdiction, all matter related to delayed payment must be filed under the MSME Act provisions only, jurisdiction. So this is the small act, but the heavy mechanism of this small act is in favor of the MSMEs. So this is something which about the act. MSME Samadhan. Strategy mechanism is 15 to 24. Fast track resolution system protects MSME suppliers from buyers' working capital pressures. Compliance tool for payers under Section 43B of the Income Tax Act. Yes, we all are about the 43B of the Income Tax Act, which is very much protective about the MSME payments, and is not made, then the deduction is not allowed for all the purchases and the expenses, as we are all aware about that. Critical for audit trails and financial statement documentation is one of the part. Objectives of MSME Samadhan, we have come across that MSME Act was made in 2006 and the buyers pending dues publicly available, strengthen the accountability to the central state ministers, improve liquidity in the MSME ecosystem. Yes, of course, MSME ecosystem is very much dependent upon the financial chaos or financial uh, shortness of all the time. MSMEs are fighting for the financial working capital requirement because they are fighting for the working capital. If the payments are not made on time, then the production will be collapsed. So the key metrics of the May 2024 figures, some old figures are there, were 1,88,000 was case there, but I have given you the latest figures as on date, which is 2,56,000 is there, and mutually settled is 24,000 now. Earlier, one year back it was, it earlier 1 year back it was 17,000, and the disposed 35,000, but after 1 year it is now 57,000. So look at the speed. 45 days timeline is under section 15, interest liability is under 16, 3 into bank rate, tax disallowances is under 43b and clause H of Indian Income Tax Act 1961. Now, legal framework of MSME Act 2006 is section, this is all about which I have already. 37 state have established the MSEFCs. This is very important. Stated duties of 37 has established MSEFC, and dispute resolution system has got the time limit of 90 days. Yes, resolution system says in within 90 days you have to settle the amount by the MSEFCs, though it is not complied. Practically being counsel, I would like to bring your kind attention into the topic that it is not at all compliant, not at all. But since there is objective, there is idle, the government's will to get it into within the 90 days to give the money back to the MSMEs to settle the case within the 90 days of the filing. So this is the willpower of the government which says that we are going to settle the case within the 90 days. Still, the lot of things are behind that because MSCFCs and the willpower of state officials and all those things which I am personally being the counsel in the MSCFC for a long time. I have found that till there is no separation of MSCFC council to the Department of Industry, then this uh, mechanism's intention and honestful efforts are somewhere which are lacking. Though, so setup of MSCFC's officials as a separate entity and separate judicial systems will help to achieve this 90 days timeline. As of now, my personal opinion is. Legal framework, we have already discussed in all the things, and this is the next slide. Legibility criteria. Yeah, participants, please come to this point that this is very important. Valid Udyam registration. So you must be asking to your client, those who are serving to other industries and not having Udyam registration. If you are not having Udyam registration as on the date of the supply of the goods, then you will not be able to file a case into the MSEFC. I would like to repeat the things that if you are not having a valid Udyam registration, and you should fall into the category of small and micro and medium category, only then you are able to file the case into the MSEFC council. If you are not, then Udyam registration, if you are not possessing as on the date of the supply of the goods, then you will not be allowed to bring a redressal system. So you please to your clients, whosoever is suffering from undue delays in the payments by the weak industry and the corporate houses, just please ask them to get first registered into the Udyam registration by Udyam Aadhaar and all those things, so that they will be able to file the redressal system into the MSME Act 2006. And this is all about the MSME Act. The buyer can be a private sector company, government agency, PSU, state government, whosoever is the buyer. MSCFC has uh, set up to take care of all the private sector, government agencies and PSUs, state government, all the MSCFC can call upon about the MSME's dues. So the huge jurisdiction has been extended for all MSEFCs against these private sector, big companies, government agency, PSU, and the state governments. So the next thing is that role and responsibility. This is the mediation of dispute. Definitely, MSEFC Council does not possess their intention or their attitude that we are here to penalize the buyer. A lot of cases I have been counsel and seeing their outlook and their things into their mind. The officials are very much interested that the supplier should have the justice. Not their intention is not to penalize or harass the buyer. So they are very moderate that the buyer should come with their difficulties, so that the seller and buyer should meet together again and start their new life. Please underline my sentences. Their intention is that they should start their life again. Their intention is not to detain one part as a guilty and other part as a winner. They are not working to penalize. They are not interested to penalize, but to renote. But they are trying to renote their officials into the category. But it means that if we put the same thing into the action of some person's married life, that two persons of life partners are not ready to live it together, then all the redressal system tries to that to solve their disputes and bring a new start and just forget the all things and start a new journey of their life. So MSEFC councils, as a council of previously I held, and I see that all are interested in the conciliation process. No, they are not against buyers, and they are with suppliers and with also buyers also. They hear passionately and sympathetically with the buyer's problems also, and try to find out a amicable solution. The MSEFC councils are not supposed to be a traditional type of courts wherein one is the culprit and one is the accused and one is the appellant or one is the respondent or one is the case filer. No, their attitude is not of like that. They think that one has given the supplies and other has availed the supplies. Then where is the problem with the buyer? Whether there's financial problem, there is a marketing problem. Why there is a differences? I have come across so many times in this process, council process, that some of the buyer comes to me and says that this is the I mean to say the supplier comes and says that this fellow is not giving my money, and I talk to buyer, and buyer is also somewhere, we are also stand for the buyer side also. Buyer says that just sir, please settle our case, I'm ready to pay. Just to you pay the amount. Yeah, yes, I mean many cases I have settled from the buyer side, that buyer says that I am ready to pay the amount. Then I just astonishingly I ask the fellow that why you are taking my services as a counsel, why you are paying me fees when you are ready to pay the dues to the supplier. Then where I am needed and where is the notice process etc needed. Then the buyer says that no, we both are not able to talk, we are not able to talk, but I am ready to pay. Since he has gone to the this MSCFC councils, I am not ready. I am not interested to keep his money and just pay. Okay, I am not also interested to keep the business relations also, but I am also not interested to keep the money also. But I am also not interested to talk him. It means the three things are also there. He is not interested to further relation. He is not interested to keep the money, and he is also not interested to talk about that. So the MSEFCs are sympathetically taking the care of both the person, that okay, you are not taking the action, or you are not taking you are not interested to carry on your business relations further. Okay, but still you are ready to pay, and then please come to the point. So then it happens because the case process and the notices and the case is starting and redressal is so fast that the buyer has to come on the table very early at very stage. Otherwise, in the civil suits etc cases, in the traditional method of the judiciary, it happens that the buyer has to the seller has to wait for a long for 4 to 5 years dates. The judicial system of traditional, which does not allow him to even issue a single notice for first 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. Then the buyer who is interested to even pay is not in any hurry and hurry that I have to require to pay, because he is not of any sort of threat that there is a notice or there is some court in action or not. So these MSEFCs are also working in such a fashion also to bring the things at early stage in both the parties notice immediately, so that the intention of the buyer is not of to take the money of the supplier. Then that intention should not be wiped off. Before that, the MSEFC enters into the case immediately, and before the intention wipes out, he takes away the money from the buyer's pocket to and put into the seller's pocket. So this is the things which during my all consultation I have seen in so many cases, that somewhere both the parties are not ready to sit, even though MSEFCs are doing the great job. So I salute to the government for this intention to set up this MSEFC as a redressal system. clearly this is ADR, being a mediator of Rajasthan High Court and legal services authorities at the mediation center High Court Jaipur. I'm pursuing this ADR system of the courts. So I'm finding that where the mediation works now, no court can match the mediation and all these things. If the mediators are good and mediators are having their all brains and hearts into the case, then both the parties would be understanding, because everyone knows there is nothing left into the court system or long taking the cases into the long wipe. So all the things depend upon the mediators, and MSEFC are working in such a fashion. matlab, it's not a hardcore judiciary system. It's a sort of mediation ADR system which we are seeing in the High Court also. So this is all about something 45 days time limit in section 15. So 15, 16, 16, 17, 18, 19, we have all seen these things. And legal framework, this is a little bit which we are already seen. MSME with valid Udyam registration, we were seeing this, and again, this slide is somewhere repeating. And role and responsibility, mediation disputes, MSME supplies, workflow from invoice to Samadhan. Yeah. Now it comes that, sir, please let me know that what are the charges of the government fees, etc. So this is very pertinent question to the participant, that participants are very much eager to about to know that how it starts, the case filing. The case filing starts from this window, sir. All of you, please come to this window. The case filing starts from this window, that MSMEs are to file the cases in this case filing entrepreneurship, and this is the case filing mechanism. The case filing mechanism starts from this portal, and what requires is very easy. It's very easy to file a case. Just you have to keep for some few documents in your hand, and the documents are that purchase invoices, work orders, and the latest ledgers you must purchase, Udyam registration you should purchase, and you will file the case with the help of the Udyam registration, and you will file, because if suppose I would like to uh, bring about your login, if suppose we want to claim respondent advocate MSGFC institution admin and admin officer claimant ODR schemes, knowledge centers, and this is act rules, etc. So many things this site has possessing. Jurisdiction of the councils are possessing, and other resources, judgments, services, the council display board, cause list, ADR institutions, all these things of ADR institutions also they are possessing. So you all the things these things these are possessing. For seller, this is the things. Udyam registration. This starts the claimant seller login. You have to put your Udyam. If suppose you have seen some Udyam Aadhaar or Udyam registration number of actual, if you have seen somewhere, then you will be able to see that Udyam registration is starts in this fashion only. Just put it the passwords. If suppose there is not there, then you have to request the OTPs, and the OTP will go to the mail ID of the registered mail ID of this Udyam Aadhaar, and your work will start from here. Right. So, what document will you suggest while filing the case? The document you will purchase for filing the case, that you must purchase the purchase order, the invoices, the ledgers, and the Udyam registration number. No PAN, no GST is required as such. This outstanding amount you must purchase. This is the outstanding amount which we are having. So after out only in at this stage only the outstanding amount is required to be filled. After that, when there is a notice comes, then only the registration interest calculation starts. Okay, so at the filing stage of the application, the only requirement is to put the outstanding amount as on with the purchase invoices and the purchase orders and the Udyam registration. These 4 to 5 documents, if you are having in your hand, just start the work and claim process starts. Hope I am able to give you some idea of things. And this is the Udyam portal. Preferably on Udyam portal, supply must be valid invoice, work orders, agreements. This is the all the things which you are required. After that, just get it the MSME registration, pen etc. You have to required fill somewhere, and copy of invoices, electronically received unique application number. Yes, after filing, you will file a unique application number. So when you have filed the case with the MSEFC's portal, then you will find a application number. This is not a case number. This starts with the application number. You will be allotted immediately online within 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It depends upon the your number of invoices, etc. How many invoices, how many work orders are there with your. If suppose you have one invoice only, one purchase order only, and you have got Udyam registration and PAN number, etc. with you, and your the site is working properly, hardly it will take 5 minutes. I tell you, hardly it will take 5 minutes to file a case on the MSME portal. If you are having all the documents in front of you and the portal is obviously working, and your other partner or other client is also able to cooperate and give you OTP, etc., whatsoever it is there, then you will be able to file a case within the 5 minutes. That is not a case. Please understand the participant. The filing application on the MSME portal does not make it a case. If the case becomes when it goes to the MSME EFC's officials, they scrutinize, they require, they issue a notice to both the parties. After that, they ask for the documentation, interest calculation, CA certificate, etc., required documents, notarized and affidavits, etc. Lot of documentation are there. All the documents are put on the prescribed date of the notice given by the MSEFC councils. After that, they allot you a case number, and the case starts at then and there only. After that, the hearing process. So the first process is you have to file the application, then wait for a notice to file the case. After that, the case is converted and your case number is allotted. Then wait for a hearing. After that, the hearing starts, and the parties are asked. The hearing is the first hearing. Suppose both the parties are present. The hearing is the second hearing. Both the parties are present or not present. After that, one more chance is given. After that, conciliation process starts. After that, arbitration process starts, publishing into the newspaper, affixing the notice of bankruptcy, etc., Diwalia, etc. I mean to say that a notice to be put on the site of the factory or the residence of the buyer that this process is undergoing in the MSEFC council, and please come to the table. All these things are there, right? Now, this is the filing process. Visit the portal, register, OTP verification. It's very simple. Application format, buyer details, upload the documents. Very simple. Payment details and submit the application. Then on admission, the application becomes a case. Notices are issued by both the parties. Council first attempt the conciliation, encourages the voluntary settlement between the MSME. Voluntary settlement. It says, yes, sir, please, participants, please see that all MSCFCs are not as per the traditional court mechanism sort of things. They are more eager to set the cases on the voluntary basis, voluntary settlement basis. So they are very eager that both the parties should come onto the table and should start their fresh journey. At least, of not able to fresh journey, then give a amicable solution to both the parties. Agar conciliation fails, then arbitration. And arbitration after that, within the 90 days, award is passed. And the award is to be appealed into the further courts. The decree of civil court is enforceable as a civil decree court. So this is the redressal system, which starts from the application. Participant, it starts from the application, then case after the notice of the MSME, then conciliation starts, then arbitration starts, and then award. These are the 5 to 6 steps wherein the MSMEs are doing the Samadhan. 75% at least is to be deposited of the award amount if you are going to against the council decision into the higher authorities. So which is practically to not much online tracking, real-time tracking status. You can always see where is my case is. As I show you that you are able to see that where is my case. This is the site of the MSME where you can see that where is my case. Hope you might be understanding. Notification, SMS alerts, emails are available 24/7 is the availability of your portal's access. Case disposable analysis as of Act 2025, MSME Samadhan portal data up to October 2004, the 2.188 lakhs total application filed since inception. This is very few number. Actually, a lot of people are not knowing even, and 48,000 to 50,000 crores are involved in the disposed matter. Around this 57,000 application has been resolved and mutually agreed. 24,000 application, 24,238 application have been resolved, and 2,382 crores reported settled out of initial claims of the higher amounts. I would say that these numbers are not very much impressive. keeping in view the number of MSMEs, their issues, and so a lot of responsibility among the professional lies upon that. We should go to the professionals that a good mechanism has been incorporated by the government. So after that only this number will increase. Fast recovery, 3 into bank rate, no legal cost. Free consultation, no further. Yes. The legal cost. The participant, please bring your focus on this point that there is 500 rupees only the fees of the government MSEFC. Only 500 rupees till the case amount is 10 lakh rupees. Up to the 10 lakh rupees, there is a 500 rupees is the only government fees filing case filing. And over and above that, only the 2000 rupees. Any amount, if it, let it be amount of 20 crore rupees, the amount of fees is 2000 rupees only. But if you are going only for interest, the fees is 5000 rupees. So 500, 2000 rupees are the two fee slabs only to file a case in MSEFC. I tell you. So I hope this is a very distinguished feature. Document trail is maintain the invoices. Yes, this you have to learn your client that always maintain the purchase orders, the document trail, and any dispute if arises, then you should be by emails, etc. You should be keep tracking the evidences and collecting the evidences that we started initiation about the bad deliveries, bad services, or bad goods, etc. So that at the time of settlement of the MSEFC's council in front of MSC council, then your case will be the strong enough. So you must be starting the collecting the evidences since the start of the dispute itself. Reserve provisions, accrued interest liability in financial as per the NDS. You have to run a statutory declaration by the MCA companies annually. MSME one you have to submit. Implementation, the change, the awareness gap. Yeah, it's a lot of pending cases, 50,000 cases everything disposable. Enforcement, yes, resources. Actually, the thing is that MSEFCs are set up, not set up as a separate unit. They have been dealt with the industry department officer, also those having the relevant duties also. So if we want to put this mechanism to more effective, the government has to be given an advice or suggestion that you have to set up the MSEFC councils as a separate entity and a separate structure of that so that their separate expertise will bring the all the cases to be solved at early stage. Landmark Supreme Court decisions in the MSME cases are Gujarat State Civil Supplies Corporation, Mahakali Foods. These are the 2023. Because if you go to the site now, you will be finding that cases list are also there. If you are seeing that if you find that there will be a lot of cases, high court honorable high court judgment related to payment, MSC council's address, all the council address, all the FAQs are there. If suppose you see the MSME council, so you will find all the MSFC's council: Andaman Nicobar, Andhra, Arunachal, Assam, Bihar, Chandigarh, Rajasthan, Chandigarh, Delhi. All the MSCFC's council phone number, email, etc. all is given on this site itself. And yeah, so sorry, all councils address, etc. You must be able to see it. Lakshiji, the slide is visitable. No? Site is visitable.
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. So this is Honorable Supreme Court decision. This Silpi Industry versus Kerala State High Court. I tell you, this is the landmark judgment into the MSEFCs. Silpi Industries is everywhere quoted by Supreme Court. So facts of the cases may be relevant for you or may not be relevant for you, but it depends upon your client's requirement or need and the problem which the client is possessing. So this is all about. So this is the portal which is taking care MSME ODR portal for the selection and for the complainant. And this is the initial portal wherein you can find the master portal. So this is the MSME's Act which you can see. The MSME Act you can download it from here itself also. All the acts, section 15 we have seen with you, section 16 we have seen you to, section 19 we have seen with you that there is a parties and 3 times payments of the interest payments, etc. So this is all about. This is section 19 which says no application for setting aside any decree, award or any order made by any council itself. 75%. Participants, please look into the matter. 75% is the required amount to be filled, which I already discussed with you all the persons. So this is MSME Act. This is sorry. This is all about the Supreme Court decisions, and this is MSME Council addresses. All these things are available on the site itself. This is the FAQs. What is MSME Samadhan portal, mandatory, and all those things. All the FAQs are taking care of your problem. So, friends, to summarize the things before, because I am near to end my session and I just fastly look at the PPT's available balance. So, this is MSME Samadhan and insolvency and bankruptcy. This is MSME Samadhan, delayed payment, 90 days, consolation, prevention, lower cost, insolvency, severe financial distress, extended timeline, liquidation of assets, legal proceedings, which is very tedious job. Trade receivable, e-discounting, complementary solution, this is also there. And this is buyer side compliance and risk management. Section 40(3)(b) disallows risk. Buyer has to take care that if I am purchasing from MSME, then 43(b) disallowances I have to take care, interest cost I have to take care, audit scrutiny and MSEFC direction I have to take care. So buyer, when buying from the MSME, will take care all these things. CA advisory, best practice for the clients. Working capital management strategy, definitely it is there. CA perspective, key takeaway, Samadhan is both a recovery mechanism and compliance requirement. These are the cases pending, 90 days resolution, payers, buyer, interest, definitely. Next is the MSCFC's Councils of Rajasthan. This is basically Rajasthan because I'm based at Rajasthan. I'm doing practice here in Rajasthan and throughout the country wherever the opportunity is given to me to present the cases in front of the MSCFC. I am available for all the cases. But particularly in Rajasthan, I'm taking care of this Durban Tilak Marg is the HQ office. Jodhpur has got also the place and district industry centers are at the Ajmer also. We have got 7 MSCFC in Jaipur itself and Ajmer, Kota, etc. And this is MSEFCs of Delhi NCT, which has these addresses are all you can have from the site itself also. Delhi EFCs and useful of MSMEs are this is simple, fast, etc. This is not required to be repeated again. And benefits to the buyer and the government simple because the payment cycle, a better contract management, and this MSEFC now this mechanism MSME Samadhan Act stresses upon and focuses upon the reunion of the buyer and seller instead of solving. मतलब it's beyond the solution. It's not the financial solution and financial recovery mechanism. Its basic aim is that please reunite the buyer and seller again. In many of the cases, in one cases, the buyer came to the seller and it's a Corona time. After Corona time, I was there also. I was little bit harsh from I was also for the seller side, and I was little bit harsh to the buyer that why you are not paying here after Corona as a long time and still you are doing the business. So the buyer was having the tears in his eyes, and even my seller says, okay, yaar, दे देना यार जस्ट अरे तू वापस काम तो चालू करे यार मैं तेरे साथ हूँ यार so I learned a lot. I learned to learn that both the parties are having interest in the business. The seller was having the great hearts and saying to the buyer यार दे देना यार तू रोए मत यार हो जाएगा काम चलो सबका खराब होता है कोरोना में बहुतों का खराब हो गया कोई बात नहीं so that live case I am having the visuals of live case in my memory and even I also got little bit emotional that यार seller is saying okay दे देना यार दे देना अरे तू काम तो चालू कर यार काम तो चालू कर तो माल तो ले यार अच्छा माल लेता रहे थोड़ा थोड़ा और 10-20% पुराना भी देता रहे so this type of emotion sympathy etc we being the council now we should understand that both the person should start renoting their businesses so that they can start contributing into the GDP. So MSEFCs or MSME Samadhan Act, they nowhere is approaching to give a solution to the one party, but to give the solution in the interest of the Indian economy and to the Indian GDP and into the Indian businesses also. So this council says that we are not here to give the solution. We are giving the we want to reinstate the things which have gone wrong to the Indian economy. Let the person restart and restart to contributing to the Indian economy. So I think this is the main purpose of the government. So this is the benefit of the buyer and government, and this is the key challenges and the limitations. At this point of time, now I just remember my childhood days when I used to sit at the shop of my father, and I used to see that my father used to tell to the borrower who is not able to pay and comes to purchase the at our shop that Papa used to say, okay, कोई बात नहीं, पुराना भी देख लेंगे, पहले नया तो ले. And just to take the new items, Papa says that okay, if the old one is not coming, even though the person should remain coming to the shop And if he is coming to the shop, now that I will regenerate the whole losses which I am supposed to incur if I am losing that fellow. If the fellow should not stop to coming. And I am really thank to this mentality of our Indian businessmen, those who are not ready to break the knots of the businesses with the buyers. And thanks to this government's long vision and MSEFC Council's great work they are doing, that they are with this traditional mind of business set of our suppliers to always remain to the mainstream of the economy. So this is the recent initiative and the policies of the support creation of special hubs portal and MSME online dispute ODR. This is the ODR online dispute resolution, which we have seen the both the sites. No? We have seen MSME Act. We have seen. I have shown you all the sites. I have shown you the both the resolution site, basic site, the parent site, and the Act. Also, I have shown integration of all the things. This is the best practice of MSME using Samadhan. Obtain the Udyom registration. Yes, please, friends, please insist on all of your clients, those who are having the little and small businesses, that just go to the Udyom registration site and get your Udyom registration first, so that you will be eligible to file a case in the MSME file. And look, friends, whenever any party comes to me, believe me, believe me, in last 7 days or 15 days, whenever a person comes to me, I say that, sir, please you ensure that you don't want to do a business that fellow further. First you try the soft mechanism. First you send a register post that I am in need, that all these things. First you ensure that the buyer is ready, not ready to pay at all. After that you come to me and to file a application into the MSME. And before converting into the case being a counsel, I suggest to my supplier, if I am standing from the supplier side, I am standing, then I always suggest him that you should not go to the case level first, or at the application level. Just you treat it as a case. Just send this application to your buyer and ask the buyer that you should pay me, otherwise I will go further. I mean to say that you should be very soft to your buyer, because the person who is required to pay now, he will be always in trouble. Let it be your rent, I mean to say your tenant, or let it be any person in the whole world. Always those who are required to pay now will always have a problem to pay the money. This is the problem with the money also. When it goes out now, it's always problematic. So way forward is strengthening the mechanism, set up more MSEFC councils. Yes, more MSEFC councils is not required, sir. It requires a separate MSEFCs. Those not having the industry setup or industry, I mean to say that they should be expertise or one point vision that we are here to just take care of the cases only. But now presenting this is being dealt with the other officers of the industry department, those having a very severe workload of the industry, like subsidies and licensing or approvals and all those things, and physical surveys and all the things they are also taking care of beside the MSEFC. So somewhere these MSEFCs are now they're step baby. So I would like say to the government as this point, as a council of MSME, that please, sir, make us your real child. Conclusion: delayed payment remains one of the biggest bottlenecks of the MSMEs. MSME Samadhan, backed by the strong provisions of MSME Act, and this is MSEAD Act and stuck working capital, Samadhan is the great thing. And take action today is, if your MSME face delayed payment, file on MSME Samadhan Act and get your client registered on Udyam registration. So something which I would like to just uh, point out that the thing is, the takeaway of today's webinar is from my side. First, you should understand that only small, medium, and this micro undertakings, those who are covered in MSME Samadhan Act, are eligible to file a case. First thing, and on the supply date, it should have the valid MSME certificate with them registration. If these two things are not there, you will not be able to file a case. If a case is filed, it will be dismissed. So these are the first takeaway. After that, a very small factual sheet which I would like to repeat, that only the 500 rupees is the fees for the 10 lakh rupees amount, and maximum is the only 2000 rupees case filing fees. So don't have any sort of pressure of legal cost, etc. It's meager 2000 rupees only from the government end, and that is very small, I would like to say. And to start with, there are processes. First, file an application, and the application filing does not require the much documents, only the purchase orders, invoices, ledger balances, Udyam registration, and OTP email, verified email you must be possessing, and the verified email person should be able to tell the OTP, etc. So all the things you have to keep the application. After that, their case conversion would be there. After the notices are issued by the MSEFC, the case conversion would be there. After that, there will be hearings and the conciliation, then the award and the award appeal. These are the 6 steps of MSME, all the things. So 500 rupees, 2000 rupees, 10 lakh rupees is the limit. Beyond 10 lakh rupees, 2000 rupees. If you are going only for the interest recoveries, then the 5000 rupees is the fees. And the MSFC are there, 75 lakh rupees and above. The headquarter level MSCFCs are there, 25 to 75 lakh. Tier 2 MSCFC are there, and district level MSCFC are there for less than 25 lakh rupees cases. So today, this is all about from me. Over to you, Lakshit. Ready to face any FAQs is there?
So thank you, sir, for such a knowledgeable session. So we have some Q&As. So we'll quickly go through them because we have second session also coming up. So the first one is from Taruna Chavla from Kota. So she asks, if there is no action on an application filed by MSME, whom to contact?
Definitely, if there is no action on application filed with the MSME, then you have to go to the the email IDs, etc. are given. If you are able to go to the physically, then you can go to the person supervising over there. The deputy commissioners are there. You can always approach to the concerning officials physically or onto the through the mail given on the sites that this case has not been taken into the consideration. So please be speedy about my case.
Okay. Second question being that where do we challenge the MSME Council decision? So I can...
Yes, of course. MSME Council decisions are the next. The commercial courts you can always challenge. MSME Council's awards are always challenged into the commercial courts. But you look at the section 19, which says that 75% of the award amount is to be deposited first before appealing. Hope the clarity is there.
The third question being, can MSME be approached if the buyer is government department or PSU? I guess that was also covered.
Always they can be appointed. MSEFC has got the jurisdiction over all the persons, private, government, anyone. The thing is, you should be MSME. Others is MSME or not, nowhere. Others is a government, others is a tycoon, others is a Reliance, Tata, Ambani, Adani, whosoever the other bodies, government of India, government of Rajasthan, trust, private, anyone is there in front of you. You must be MSME first, and that is decided by your Udyam registration. It should be valid one on the date of the supply.
So we'll take the last question. So in case a company is not paying to MSME, and MSME is also not reporting that there is non-payment, so can the government in any way know that there is non-compliance of this act? So I guess they're asking about 3C.
In case of companies, they are required in the MCA's MSME 1 form that you have to report the 45 days delays payment.
Correct.
So this is the only way. As a council to collect the evidences, we should be ready to see that where the debtor list is there. If there is a debtor list wherein your MSME has been shown as a debtor, that will be evident proof. Even though you cannot do the work of others now, you should be very clear that our documents are okay. My purchase order is there, my supplies is there, my email registration, registered post, and my all the acts are valid. Because you cannot enter into the other houses and say that for my sake of convenience or my sake of convenience, you should do this, that, do this, that. No. You are able to do your work only. You should be very much particular while you are posting that I am unpaid, I am overdue. So you should keep track of all the things by emails, by register post, and keep the screenshots of the WhatsApp, etc. And keep your evidences always ready with you and preserve it, so that at the time of the plea, all the things will be available to the council to plea your case properly.
Okay, so with that, we'll conclude the session. Thank you,
Lakshit. It was very nice to be associated with CP committee. Thanks to chairman sir and all the things, and thanks to all the participants who patiently hear me and lot of queries. And I am available all the time. If suppose it's related to MSME issues, if are concerned, then I am available to solve their queries. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, Arvind. So now we'll move on to our next session, that is GST Appellate Tribunal, Appeal Filing Procedures and Rules. So this session will be taken by our esteemed member CA Devendra Kataria ji. So he has over 14 years of professional experience in GST compliance, consultancy, and litigation. He is an ICI registered GST faculty and has delivered 100 plus lectures across professional and business forums. And he has also held key roles in the Quota branch of CIRC of ICI and Tax Bar Association Quota. And currently, he is serving as a nominated member of the GST and Indirect Taxes Committee of ICI for the year 2025-26. So, Devendra you may take the session.
Thank you so much, Lakshit. At the outset, I would like to thank the CP committee for granting me this opportunity to present my views on the very hot topic that is GST 80. And the session just before me, Arun sir, it was a wonderful session. I was listening to you and also learned many things that being a chartered accountant, you can have a lot of opportunities in the MSME area as well. So I will definitely recommend those who are new in the profession, they can always explore this opportunity and have a nice, wonderful practice. So now let's start with GST 80. Before that, let me confirm that I can share my screen. Okay, is it visible, Lakshit?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, let's continue. So basically, in today's scenario, the hot topic about GST and litigation per se we talk about is the Appellate Tribunal, which has taken more than 8 years from the inception of GST in its incorporation. When we talk about tribunal, sabse pehle, the chartered accountants, we feel whether we'll be able to present ourselves before the judges who will be sitting there at the bench, whether we'll be having enough confidence to present ourselves. See, the answer to these questions is very simple. Do you have all the facts of the case? Do you have all the documentary evidences which you need to present your case? And if the answer to both the questions is yes, I'm telling you, maybe in the first hearing you'll have some nervousness, but from the second and third hearing, you'll have 100% confidence of presenting yourself before the tribunal. And just like MSME, like Arun sir said, it's a huge opportunity for chartered accountants. Tribunal is also one such a huge opportunity in GST in today's area where chartered accountants can explore and have a wonderful profession. It is one noble profession where we are serving as a chartered accountant to the society and we can bring justice in the GST litigation area as well. So with this thought, let's start. When we are talking about GST 80, the tribunal process, first let's discuss about what GST 80 is and how these are structured in the entire nation. There is one principal bench which is situated at New Delhi, and the bench comprises of one judicial member that will be called the president, who will have the presiding powers over the entire GST 80 structure. Then we'll have another judicial member who will be assisting him and will be sitting on the benches and making decisions, of course. Then we have two technical members, one from the center and one from the state. So, what is the role of principal bench overall? First is that place of supply matters will only be dealt by the principal bench at New Delhi. No state bench is allowed to be dealing in the matters relating to place of supply. Say for example, in a case there are more than one issues, and one of the issues place of supply and other issues are related to maybe classification or valuation or input tax credit. So whether this entire appeal with all four issues, whether they will go to state benches for three matters and for POS go to principal, the answer is no. The entire matter, even if one of the issues is place of supply, the entire matter will be referred to principal bench and there only it will be decided. अच्छा न्यू दिल्ली में if the bench is in New Delhi and I'm sitting in Rajasthan or maybe in Maharashtra, will I have to travel to New Delhi to appear before the bench? See, the answer to this question is not yet given. It is the process of filing the appeal is completely electronic. However, whether the hearings will be conducted virtually or you have to be physically present before the bench to give your case, to present your case, the answer is still unknown. From my experience, what I can tell you about the SESTAT, which is currently working for the Excise Service Tax Tribunal, I have appeared there physically also and virtually also. The SESTAT, the Honorable SESTAT allows you an option to present virtually. You have to simply intimate in advance that on this particular date when your case is listed, you will be visiting virtually, and then you'll be presenting your case. So it's possible in today's scenario, and I'm really hoping that it will be possible in the future in GST as well. Remaining, we have state benches wherein we have two judicial members and two technical members, similar to the principal bench. And these benches will have area wise jurisdiction. Some states have two benches, other states have one, and there are some common benches for two or three areas. So once these are operational, the matters will be listed up with the respective tribunal as per their jurisdictional area, where the case is decided by the appellate authority, the first appellate authority. The order issued by the appellate authority is subject to appeal to tribunal, and accordingly, as per the area, the appeals will be filed before the respective tribunals. So, whether principal bench is going to hear about only place of supply matters, again the answer is no. The tribunal has the option to, the principal bench of the tribunal has the option to take other matters as well. Say, for example, if one of the state benches where two members are sitting and they have a difference of opinion, so the matter has to be referred to some other bench or some other member. So those matters can be shifted to principal bench also. There may be a situation that a similar matter of a same company which is having more than one registration and has all India presence, and they have same matter listed in more than one bench. So the president can call for all those cases and accumulate those cases at the principal bench and can be heard at one time for the entire case. So these powers are vested with the tribunal. They can decide on these issues, and the act, that is CGST Act, duly empowers them to take these decisions. Moving forward, there can be a single member bench and there can be a double member bench, right? What is the difference? Basically, if the matter is less than 50 lakhs of tax involved, okay, tax matlab tax, interest, penalty, the case is less than or up to 50 lakh rupees, and the case does not include a question of law. I mean, it is a question of fact. As we all know, that tribunal is the final fact finding authority in any particular case. So, if the matter is pertaining to a question of fact and rather not of a question of law, and the tax involved is less than or equal to 50 lakh rupees, then the matter may be referred to a single member bench. And who will decide? The president will decide accordingly. The case may be referred to the single member bench. Now, when the case is heard by the single member bench or being scrutinized by the bench, it is determined that no, boss, the matter is not related to question of fact, but it involves question of law as well. So the matter will be again referred back to the president, and accordingly, a double member bench will take up that matter. So it is possible even during the hearing and the proceedings that the case is shifted from one bench to another. So where double bench will happen, all other matters where either the amount is relating to question of law, even if it is less than 50 lakhs, but the matter is such that it should be taken up by the double member bench, then it should be taken by double bench, that is one judicial member and one technical member. Then the matter has to be decided by majority of the views. See, if there are two judges sitting on the bench and both have same opinion that this matter should be decided accordingly, and this has to be taxed or has to be exempted or whatever the decision they wish to take. If both have same opinion, no issues. If they have difference of opinion, it has to be taken by majority. Now they have to involve another judge, another member to take decision in this. What will happen? If there is a difference of opinion between the two members in a tribunal in a particular case, that case is referred to either another member or, if not possible, then to another bench. And accordingly, they take the decision. Both the members who have already taken their decision, that will be noted and duly informed to the third member. And on the basis of that, the third member will give his views, and whatever his views will coincide with the existing member, they will be now the ratio of 2:1, and accordingly the decision will be taken by majority of views. So this is about how the GSTAT is going to work. Right. Now, let us understand the GST appeal hierarchy. How are we going to reach up to the tribunal in a particular case? First, what if the case, entire proceedings start from issuing of a show cause notice. First and foremost, the adjudicating authority issues a show cause notice, maybe based on some scrutiny or appeal or inspection or anything of that sort. On that basis, a show cause notice is issued. In reply to that show cause notice, a proper reply is being submitted. If the reply is considered satisfied by the adjudicating authority, the matter drops. But if they feel that no, the reply to the show cause notice is not proper, and or maybe the documents which are submitted or the documentary evidences which are submitted are not proper or incomplete, this matter converts into an order which is called order in original, issued by the adjudicating authority. Now, if the taxpayer is agreeing with the order, he will simply pay the tax, interest, and penalty, whatever liability is decided in that matter. If the taxpayer is not agreeing with the order, the matter goes into appeal. Now, from here, the appeal process starts. The first appeal lies with the first appellate authority. It may be the additional commissioner appeals, wherein the appeal goes. It is again divided as per the area jurisdiction of the taxpayer. So the first appeal lies before the first appellate authority under Section 107 of the GST Act. Now, when we are discussing 107, there's a one important aspect in 107, that the language of the section is such that any person aggrieved by the order issued by the adjudicating authority may file an appeal to the appellate authority. Now, what is the meaning of this word any person? Whether the person against whom the order is issued, or any person who is aggrieved by the order, whether it is issued against him or not. So my humble view in this, that as per the language, that any person who is aggrieved, when we go as per law, the framework which has been prepared in the law, it says, if say for example, if an order is issued against a person, and what he is doing as per that order is collecting that amount from his customer, so who is ultimately aggrieved, whether the person against whom the order is issued or the person who is ultimately liable to pay. In my humble submission, the person who is ultimately liable to pay amount against that order is the person aggrieved by the order, and then he can directly file the appeal against that order. This is coming as per law, and this is my personal view. However, practical problems will be there whether the portal allows filing this appeal or not. The answer is no. The portal, as on today, does not allow filing of such an appeal. But the drafting of law is such that any person aggrieved by the order issued by the adjudicating authority can file an appeal before the first appellate authority. Why I'm so much confident about this view, we'll discuss it ahead, right? Then there is a second appeal. Under second appeal, under section 112, it goes to the appellate tribunal. Now, the language in section 112 is slightly different from section 107. What it says that any person aggrieved by any person against whom the order is issued by the appellate authority may file an appeal before the tribunal. Here, specifically, it is mentioned that any person against whom the order is issued. Whereas in section 107, when we talk about, it is not mentioned against whom the order is issued. So there's an area of interpretation over here whether section 107 actually allows filing of appeal by any person, whether an order is issued against him or not. Right? Chali, let's move forward. Then there are higher courts. See, if the order by a tribunal is not accepted by the taxpayer, by the appellant, and the matter involves a substantial question of law, then the appeal can be preferred before honorable high courts or honorable supreme court, as the matter may be. See, if the order is issued by any state bench of the tribunal, the appeal lies to the respective high court. And if the appeal is filed by the principal bench, excuse me, if the appeal is filed by the principal bench, then the matter directly lies before the Honorable Supreme Court. So this is how the hierarchy for the appeal continues. Then what is the critical role of GST? As we have already discussed, that GST is the final fact-finding authority. See, if you're fighting on facts, and if you're not fighting on any question of law, then whatever tribunal decides is going to be binding on both the officer as well as the appellant. If you are able to find out, no, boss, there is a question of law involved in this case, only then you can file an appeal before the higher courts. That is maybe the honorable respective high courts or the honorable Supreme Court. So you have to be very cautious when you are presenting your matter before the honorable tribunal. You have to make sure that you cover all the grounds, whether they are on based on facts or whether they are based on question of law. So so that you get the proper benefit which you are expecting out of that matter. Right. Then the very important aspect is about the statutory timelines. Here, I would like to give emphasis to this particular part because it is going to play a very crucial role in the appellate proceedings. The time limit is not in days, it is in months. There's a difference because a month starts from a date and ends just prior to that date. And days are calculated exactly as per days because if there's a 31 days consisting a month in a month, the days and month calculation will have difference of maybe 2 or 3 days. So it is very crucial that we calculate the timeline as per months and not as per days. And the first date on which the order is issued or served or communicated, we'll come to that also, that has to be excluded as per the General Clauses Act definition. Right. So if the order is issued on maybe so for example, if it is issued on 12th of September, the last date for filing appeal before the appellate authority will be 12th of October, November, and December, excluding 12th of September. So 3 months conclude on the exact same date on the third month. Further, there's a time period of 1 month where delay can be condoned by the first appellate authority. Only 1 month time period is allowed, right? And there was a similar provision in the erstwhile service tax regime also, where the Commissioner Appeals was given a power to condone a delay of 1 month and not beyond that. So there was initial 2 months timeline to file the appeal, and then 1 month was there for condonation. And my friends, in the erstwhile regime, Honorable Supreme Court in the matter of Singh Enterprises 2008 Supreme Court order, they have already decided that once the timeline is prescribed in the statute, you cannot refer to the Limitations Act for a higher timeline. So if the appeal is not filed within the prescribed timeline as prescribed in the statute, the matter becomes barred by the limitation and the appeal will not be entertained. It is very clear in Singh Enterprises against Commissioner of Central Excise Jamshedpur 2008 Supreme Court judgment, and it has been referred time and again by the authorities and the courts for denying benefit on the basis of limitation. So that is why I'm saying that this particular timeline is very crucial when you are going into appellate authorities proceedings. So now, for GST 80, again, the timeline to file the appeal is within 3 months from the date of communication of order issued by the appellate authority. Now, 3 months, again, same ratio is to be applied for calculating the number of months for the time period. There is, however, another time period of 3 months for condonable. See, if we are filing appeal before the first appellate authority, the appeal can be filed in within maximum 4 months, that is 3 months plus 1 month condonable period. And if the and delay will be condoned if you show that there is a sufficient cause for filing the appeal with a delay, right? Similarly, the tribunal has been empowered for admitting an appeal within further 3 months from the expiry of time period within as prescribed under section 112 subsection 1. Now, the importance, because I'm comparing it with the erstwhile service tax regime where the SESTAT, the Honorable SESTAT, Customs Excise Service Tax Appellate Tribunal, there was no foundation on the tribunal to condone within a particular time period. The law was very clear. Section 86 of the Finance Act 1994 said that if the SESTAT is satisfied there was a delay in filing the appeal within the specified time limit, they may allow admitting the appeal. That's it. There was no time period mentioned in the Service Tax Act, rather the Finance Act 1994. Whereas the difference in GST is the tribunal's power has again been limited and they may admit an appeal only within further 3 months from the expiry of the original period. So, friends, if the 6 months timeline is lapsed, it is going to be very crucial and it is going to be very difficult to get the benefit because the Supreme Court in the matter of Singh Enterprises in the erstwhile regime has already decided once the statute prescribes a limit, you cannot take help of the limitation act, right? So what to do? See, I have posted a question before you and a problem. Now it is my duty to give you a solution also. Let's talk about the solution. See, there is section 169 which talks about manners of serving a notice, order, communication, or any communication by the department. What it says that the department can serve a notice, order, communication, anything by any of the means listed below. What it says, it can be delivered directly to the person or its messenger. See, if I am having a power of attorney on behalf of on behalf of a taxpayer and have been authorized to collect documents, so directly I can go to the department and collect the document. It will be a valid service of the notice or document or order, whatever it is. It can be sent directly through registered post, and if it is not coming back, it will be deemed that it is served. So it is already a settled principle of law, so no argument over there, no issues. It can be sent to the registered email ID of the taxpayer, whatever you have entered in the common portal in your registration profile, that this is my email ID. You have already given confirmation to it. And if the notice or order or summon or any other document is sent to your registered email ID, it will be deemed that it has been served, right? Then it can be making it available on the common portal. This is the one area where the maximum disputes are being are arising, and the department is simply uploading the notice or document on the common portal, expecting the taxpayer or its authorized representatives to check the portal time and again and to verify whether a notice has been issued by the authorities or not. And maximum cases are being delayed because of this scenario. If the order is simply issued online, if uploaded on the common portal, and the taxpayer is not aware of any such proceedings, he'll definitely not go for filing an appeal. And the matter is coming in the light when the recovery proceedings are initiated, and that is normally done after 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So if the order is issued and it is uploaded on the common portal, and the taxpayer is not aware about it, and the time lapses, will you be able to file an appeal before the first appellate authority or the tribunal, as the case may be? So this is a very big question to be answered. Let's move ahead. See, the order or document or summon can be published in the newspaper also, and if it is published, it will be assumed that it has been served on the concerned person. See, now if point A to E is not possible, if it is not possible at all, that if by any means or measure they are not able to deliver or they are not able to serve any document, then it can be done by affixing, जिसको हिंदी में कहते हैं चस्पा कर देना. It can be done on the last known address of the taxpayer as per the registration protocols. Now, by virtue of this section 169, it is saying that even if the order is made available on common portal, it will be deemed that it is served. Friends, the solution lies in these words itself. Section 169 says that it will be served, it is service of notice, whereas section 107 and 112, that is appeal to appellate authority and appeal to appellate tribunal, they both talk about timelines from the date of communication of the order, when it is considered that the order has been actually communicated. If the order has been simply uploaded on the common portal, it will be served. Okay, agreed, it is served. But whether it is communicated to the taxpayer, it is a question which is not answered in the law. There are various high courts which are interpreting it, and in the meantime, it will come. But today, what I can tell you is, as per my views, the word communication is very important and crucial in determining from where the time should start. I will refer to Indian Contract Act for this matter. The communication is complete when it comes into the knowledge of the person to whom the matter is communicated. Section 4 of the Indian Contract Act 1872. So from borrowing this logic, this rule from the Indian Contract Act, I can safely say and confidently say that the order will be communicated to me on the day when I download it from the portal and read it. Till the time I download from the portal, it is not communicated to me. It is served to me, but not communicated. And section 107 and 112 clearly use the word from the date when it is communicated to the taxpayer. So my humble submission here is whenever you are first going to download the order from the portal, make a video and try to create a log that you are downloading it for the first time. And as such, this is the responsibility of the common portal and GSTN to provide a log that when this order was actually downloaded, opened and downloaded by the taxpayer. So this facility should definitely be there. Now, one more thing is there that section 146 in the CGST Act notifies common portal for various functions. It gives the power to CBIC to notify the common portal for various functions. Interestingly, for serving of notice, right? For serving of notice, common portal is still date not prescribed. So it is not a valid means of serving of notice on the common portal, and it is again a separate debate. So I will not be going into that. But for your knowledge, there is one more situation, and common portal is till date not notified for carrying out the function of servicing of notice. However, there's a notification which says all functions under the rules are to be carried out on the common portal. And Rule 142 says that DRC 1 and 7 are to be issued. They are to be issued on common portal. But DRC 1 and DRC 7, they are not notice. They are not order. They are just summary of notice and summary of order. Notice and order are different. And for serving of notice and order, still my humble view is that common portal is not notified. So the language of section 112 is like I have bold and underlined it, which any person aggrieved by an order passed against him under 107 or 108, that is the appellate authority or the revisional authority of the CGST Act or UTGST Act, may appeal to appellate tribunal within 3 months from the date on which such order sought to be appealed against is communicated and not served. So this is very important to note and the timeline to adhere to. There is always hope in the litigation process, but we have to be very cautious. If you come across that the order has been issued, don't wait for having this opportunity. File the appeal as soon as it is possible. Right. Now let's move on to the procedural part. Okay. What is how I'm going to file the appeal, whether it is going to be online or it is going to be offline. See, friends, there was a proviso in the rules earlier that the registrar may, by a special or a general order, allow filing of manual documents to the appellate tribunal, but it has been omitted even before implementing. And now the only recourse of filing an appeal to the honorable tribunals is online only. And for this, we have the portal. This the above banner is from the portal only, and we have who can file an appeal. The appeals have started, and they have started in the staggered manner and various stages. We'll discuss about those timelines also. The first and foremost is that there should be a person who has been aggrieved by the order passed by the first appellate authority. He can file an appeal to the appellate tribunal. No issues. This is the first eligibility criteria. Then the filing method is that APL 5 has to be submitted online through the e-filing portal, and the portal is efiling.gstat.gov.in. Right. So you go to the website. What you have to do is you have to register yourself as authorized representative. You have to register the taxpayer. And for these registrations, you'll need ARN. You'll need ARN of either the APL1, which you have submitted online, or the RVN1, which was submitted for the revisional authority. So you need the ARN of those documents, and only then the date will be identified whether you are allowed to file an appeal as on today or not. So it is to be done in stages. So we'll be talking about that in future. What is the requirement? See, the requirement is as per section 107 for the first appellate authority is 100% of the admitted amount, tax amount, plus interest plus penalty. Whatever the taxpayer is accepting, yes, this is my liability I'm accepting. but I'm filing an appeal and I'll pay it later. No, nothing doing. If something has been accepted by the taxpayer and it is acknowledged, yes, this is my liability, then before filing the appeal, before entertainment of the appeal, entire 100% of tax, admitted tax, interest and penalty has to be filed for filing the appeal. Then second, if there is any matter in dispute, for the disputed part, 10% of the tax amount has to be paid for filing the appeal. Right. Now, from 1st of October 25, as per Finance Act 25, it has been made mandatory that in case of cases where only penalty proceedings are there, tax is not involved. So if earlier, if tax was not involved, there was no requirement of pre-deposit. But now the scenario has changed. If the case includes penalty, if the case is only for penalty proceedings or maybe for interest and penalty, but does not include any tax, then the pre-deposit has to be paid for 10% of the penalty amount for first filing, first appellate authority. Similarly, 112 prescribes limit of 20% as pre-deposit on the disputed tax, which means you have already paid 10% before the first appellate authority. The remaining 10% you have to pay here before filing appeal to the appellate tribunal. Similarly, in case of appeals, in case of matters pertaining to penalty only, the pre-deposit will be again 10% and 20% of the penalty amount. Now, one question which arises here is, say the matter was related to 1 crore rupees, and the appeal was filed before the Honorable Commissioner of Appeals by depositing 10 lakhs as 10% of the disputed tax amount. And in the appeal, it was decided that the matter is not related to 1 crore, rather, it was partially allowed and the demand was confirmed for 50 lakhs. Now, when you go to filing an appeal before the tribunal, whether pre-deposit has to be determined by the order in original amount that is 1 CR or the order in appeal amount that is 50 lakhs. My humble submission here is the final outstanding demand, once the first appellate authority has given its judgment, the demand will be 50 lakhs. And now 20% of 50 lakhs is to be paid. However, the wordings are such that whatever was paid before the first appellate authority under 107, you have to pay 10% of the disputed tax in addition to that. There is a confusion in the section, but my humble submission is, in my view, whatever has been paid at the first appellate authority will be considered for considering entire 20% at this level. So I don't think there will be an issue in that. See, time limits we've already discussed, and there is a time period of 3 months for filing an appeal from the date of communication of order, and a further 3 months time is available with the Honorable Tribunal to allow a delay. Only 3 months, my dear friends. This time limit is very crucial, and it can decide fate of the cases, because once the timeline lapses, the benefit will not be available. Although there will be a window whether from where the order has been communicated, that calculation is always there till the time it is actually corrected or amended as per the law. Right. So now, moving on to the practical processes part, and whatever the rules that there have in 2025 GST Appellate Tribunal rules have also been prescribed. I'm going to discuss about some important aspects of the appeal filing process, and what all documents you have to maintain, what all documents you have to prepare, and what things you have to keep in mind before actually filing an appeal. Right. So if you are filing an appeal, the essential components are what all documents you require. Right. If you have to file an appeal, see, first and foremost is that you should have these certified copies of OIO, that is original order issued by the adjudicating authority. And then you should have OIA, that is issued by the first appellate authority, because there has to be a chain of documents which you submit before the appellate tribunal. The entire chain of documents, like starting from the show cause notice, then the order in appeal, all these documents are to be presented before the honorable tribunal so that they are able to scrutinize the documents, read them out, identify whether the decisions taken are correct or not, whether the findings of the appellate authority or the findings of the adjudicating authority are correct or not, whether the arguments placed by the department's counsel or the from the taxpayers counsel are, whether they are in line with the documents or not. For all these things, proper documents, OIO, OIA, and show cause notice, they should all form part of the paper book which you submit before the appellate tribunal. Although I'm naming it paper book, but it will be essentially online documents, folder wise, to be submitted to the appellate tribunal on the portal. Right. So next we have the grounds of appeal. The filing process in the indirect tax regime and the direct tax regime is quite different. What I have seen that when you file an appeal before the honorable commissioner in income tax, commissioner appeals in income tax, you simply put down the grounds that this is one liner ground. I'm presenting my objection and my grounds against this order, that this is not done, this is not done, this is not done. This is done online at the time of filing appeal, and later you give a detailed explanation why you have taken this ground for filing an appeal. But here in indirect taxes, in GST per se, when we talk about, you have to prepare entire paper book wherein you have to mention all the grounds of appeals, and the grounds of appeal should be clearly numbered and clearly explained with proper facts and evidences. If I'm taking, say, for example, input tax credit has been denied on the ground that the supplier's registration is cancelled from a backdate. So I have to give all the grounds, all the proper evidences, proper facts that when I purchased the goods from the supplier, his registration was active. And there is no argument taken by the department that that person is fake. That person existed on the day when supply was made. His registration has been cancelled, backdated is not my concern. So we have to give all the grounds with all the evidences, and also we have to take help of the precedents wherein the courts or the tribunals in past have decided about these cases, and they can help out in determining what should be done in our particular case. So supporting evidences, invoices, correspondence, contracts, all these things you have to make part of the paperwork, and they have to be serially page numbered from, and you have to prepare an index in front. Index will tell you that this is my APL 5 from page number 1 to this, or this folder contains my APL 5. This folder has my supporting document, the OIO, OIA, show cause. Then there should be a separate folder which contains evidences. Then for precedents, for different annexures. Say, for example, in a particular case, the appellant is giving an affidavit. So that affidavit has also to be made part of this paper book as an annexure. And it is very crucial because these things, help out to determine which direction the case will go. Legal precedents and relevant case laws we have to cite. See, here in this legal precedents citing matter, we have to be very crucial. Today is the time of artificial intelligence, and maximum most of us are using AI for making our researches. So whatever the AI gives us, we have to be very cautious, and we have to thoroughly check it out also, that whether the case law point given by the AI tool, whether it is reliable, whether it is factual, whether it is related to the matter in hand, whether, and one more thing we have to see is whether it has been challenged in the superior court. If the matter is challenged in the superior court, although it was there in your favor and the matter is pending at the superior court, I don't think how much it is going to help you, because whether the appellate authority is not going to consider, at least tribunals will definitely consider those cases which are still pending before the superior court. Because till the time superior court gives an order, that order still holds good, right? So very important, letter of authorization, that is power of attorney or the vakalatnama or whatever you call it. If you don't have this document, you will not be allowed to speak before the bench. You will not be allowed to appear for the case. If the taxpayer has not authorized you to speak, how can you speak? So all other documents go in vain. And if you don't have the vakalatnama, see, either you present it at the time of paper book itself, which is the best practice, or at just before the appearing, you should at least present your vakalatnama that I am the person who's going to present before the bench on this case, right? Now, the Appellate Tribunal Rules 2025 also talks about the formatting and verification standards of the paper book. As far as SESTAT was concerned, the rules were that it has to be by double spacing proper words on a single side page, on a legal page, properly binding, proper page numbering, proper para numbering. Everything was mentioned in the SESCAT rules. On similar grounds, GST Appellate Tribunal Procedure Rules 2025 also mentioned these things with certain differences. The formatting type is like still double spacing. All forms typed neatly. They have to be very neat, readable form, because now one question still is unanswered, that whether the hearings will be conducted virtually or physically you have to do. Also, if the hearings are conducted virtually, whether the documents available before the honorable members of the tribunal, will it be in physical form, or they'll be having a tab in front of them, from there they'll be reading it. So it is going to be very crucial that the paper book is prepared very neatly and proper. We are not supposed to use fonts which are fancy. They should be proper professional fonts which are easily readable. A double spacing between both lines is very important, because sometimes it's because if there's a tab and they have to zoom in to see the fonts, it will be very irritating for the member, and they will have an the image that how the professional is working. So these things are small but very critical and very important, and play a good role in the litigation process. Page size has been mentioned that it should be A4 size and not any other paper. You don't take A3 or A5 pages for filing your appeal, so it has to be A4. At max, you can go for legal, because in courts normally legal size paper is preferred, right? So all the page numbers are to be duly indexed and paged. Why? What is the requirement for this? See, I'll tell you. When you're presenting a case before the bench, when you're presenting your matter, you should thoroughly know what is mentioned at which page number. And when you have to communicate this to the honorable judges, honorable members, that my lord, please shift to page 41, the ground number 3, para 2. And I have clearly mentioned this over in this. What I'm trying to say is clearly mentioned in this para on this particular page number. You have to do homework before going. That is for no doubt, for sure. Homework is very important whenever you go to present yourself before any appellate authority. So prepare those notes that you have to get this para read by the honorable members. Once they read this para, and on the basis of this para, I have mentioned that this annexure is this evidence I have attached as annexure number 4, which is on this page. So until and unless there is page numbering, how will you ask the honorable member to refer to that page? It is going to be very difficult. Excuse me. That is why you have to prepare the paper book duly page numbered, and the page number also should be very clear. It's like you're manually writing the page number, and we are not able to understand what page number is. So we have to be very careful while preparing the paper book. It has to be paged. Then it has to be tagged firmly in a separate folder, because now we'll be filing it online. So it has to be proper in proper folders, proper formats, and then there should be a logical sequencing. See, if I'm attaching OIA first, then OIO, then show cause, it creates a chain, right? And if I'm my first ground of appeal, it refers to annexure 1, so then I should have annexure 1 accordingly. My ground 2 refers to annexure 2, then I should have annexure 2. They should not be jumbled up. The logical sequencing is very good for easy reference. You have to make the case easily presentable before the members, and if it is easily presentable before the members, they will get your point in lesser amount of time, and they'll be able to understand your case, and they'll be able to deliver a proper and justified judgment on that particular case. If they are not able to even understand what you are trying to say, how will you get a favorable judgment? So these small things, are very important when you are preparing a paper book and when you are presenting your case before the honorable members, right? Then signature and verification. It has to be duly signed by the person who's authorized to sign. Nobody else can sign. Otherwise, they can. bring this appeal in a defective format and raise out defects on that. Prayer clause is very important. Until and unless prayer, what do you want from this judgment? What do you want from the members? Whatever you want, you have to pray, and there has to be a prayer clause properly justified, properly worded out. What I am praying is that this order with show cause notice should be quashed entirely, or I want out of these four issues, I want these three to be quashed out, or maybe what I want is to be remanded back the matter to the original authority or the first appellate authority. Whatever I want, I have to clearly mention in the prayer clause, and one prayer is always there. Whatever you deem fit, आपको जैसा अच्छा लगे, you can do that. अगर आपको अच्छा लगे, you can remand back, you can accept my appeal, you whatever you feel like. So that whatever you feel necessary, whatever you feel deem fit, is always a part of the prayer, right? Now, if the paper book has some defects, what kind of defects can be there, right? See, the paper book or whatever we'll file online will go to the registrar office, and they will scrutinize it, and they will decide whether this appeal is defective. Say for example, some documents are not properly signed, the affidavit is not signed, or the OIA is missing in the paper book, or the show cause notice is missing in the paper book. They will not straight away dismiss the appeal, they will keep the appeal as defective and will intimate you that these are the defects identified in the present appeal, and you will be given a time to remove those defects, and once you remove those defects, your appeal will be accepted. So this is a normal routine process, and what common defects are identified, I'll just simply list them out because we are running short of time. So first is that missing signatures. Since we'll be submitting online, there can be digital signatures as well, or manual signatures, and then documents have to be scanned and then uploaded. So if you are scanning and uploading, then the quality becomes, it's compromised. And I would like to have a proper paper book, so I'll prefer digital signatures. If crucial papers are missing digital signatures, then it will become a defective one. Just excuse me. Right. Let's move on. Okay. Then there are, if incorrect grounds of appeals are mentioned. See, incomplete grounds. If the ground you were supposed to mention and is left incomplete, it is not concluded to the end. Why you have taken this ground and what you want out of this ground, it has to be entirely. It has to be a complete block of the paper book. So if it is incomplete, it may come into as a defect. Mandatory annexures are missing. Sometimes you have to give some certificates or affidavits before filing the appeal before the tribunal. See, proof of pre-deposit is missing. Since it is online, proof of pre-deposit missing is not going to be a chance, because until and unless you have made the pre-deposit, appeal will not be filed. But still, in SESTAT, we have seen these defects, that the pre-deposit proof is not there. Right. So there can be n number of defects which can arise out of a paper book. You have to be very careful while preparing the paper book and try that there are no defects. But still, even if the defects are there, you'll get a time to remove those defects. Now, if the defects are not removed in a particular time period as allowed by the honorable tribunal, I'm afraid that the appeal can be dismissed, and then you'll have to either go for a fresh filing of appeal or restoring the existing appeal. That is again in the procedural part. And for now, you have to understand is that basically we have to be careful while preparing the paper book and try that there are no defects, or at least minimal defects while filing. Now, what is the hearing process? The processing is that the bench will, the registrar rather will fix the date for hearing of appeals, and official cause list is announced and listed on the website, that on this particular date, this case will be listed before this bench, this case will be listed before this bench. So this will, and you will also be intimated by mail very in advance that this is the date which is allotted to you, and you have to present your case, either the taxpayer himself or through an authorized representative. You have to present before the bench on that particular date. So now, once you get the date, you start preparing that on this date, you have to give your written submissions. Already, you have submitted the paper book. Now, after submitting the paper book, you come across that I have to, mention this additional submission. I have to mention this additional point, or I have to take an additional ground before the tribunal, which was initially not the part of the paper book. Are you allowed to do that? Yes, of course, you're allowed to do that. You can always take additional grounds before the bench, but be careful that at least you send these additional grounds, at least it's not prescribed, but it's from my own experience, I'm telling you, at least 7 days before the actual date, you are able to submit these additional grounds, so that the registrar is able to send those grounds to the department counsel also, because he also has to submit, present the case on behalf of the department, and whatever arguments you are going to take, he is going to counter them. So if there's an additional ground you're taking and he's not knowing about that, he'll definitely ask for another date. कि साहब इन्होंने आज ये नया ground दिया है, I need time to counter this. So it is better that if we present the additional grounds or evidences, if we wish to, at least 7 days prior. But we can do this instantly also if the members permit, right? Then, if we are for some reason not able to present before the bench on that particular date, maybe health issues or maybe some other commitments, then we simply have to request for adjournments, and maximum 3 adjournments can be allowed in order to prevent case delays, right? The strategy considerations, like before you go to tribunal, study your case thoroughly and prepare it. It is like a game of chess. What you make a move, your opponent will make another move, and you have to anticipate what your opponent will make a move. Accordingly, you make moves. So it is altogether a game of chess, and you have to apply your mind for every permutation combination, whatever situation may arise before the tribunal, right? So let's skip this part because this is just the procedure only. Decorum is very important. We have to be well dressed, properly dressed when we are addressing a bench. For male representatives, it has to be black coat with white shirt and a black tie. For female representatives, it has to be black coat over white sari or white dress. See, summer season exemption is also there between April 15th and August 31st. You can dispense with the coat, but still remaining attire has to be very professional. If a person is coming from a department there where a dress code is prescribed, say for example, if a person is coming from the armed forces, they have their uniforms, so they will come in that uniforms. This is one crucial aspect which I want to discuss is the fees for filing an appeal. There are various fees for various aspects. What I want to highlight is Rule 110, Sub Rule 5 of the CGST Rules 2017, which says that if you have to file an appeal before the tribunal, 1,000 rupees for every lakh of tax in dispute has to be paid, and minimum 5,000, maximum 25,000 will be paid in case if the matter is to be filed before tribunal. So this is mentioned in the CGST rule. So if the tax in dispute is, say for example, 10 lakhs, I have to pay 10,000 CGST and 10,000 SGST, or I'll have to pay entirely 10,000 for one appeal. There are both the ways going on right now, that because clarity is required. What I can submit is my humble view is it will not be 10,000 CGST and 10,000 SGST, because the wordings of the law is such. See, if you refer to Section 9 of CGST Act, it is worded in the sense that there will be imposed a tax called CGST at the rate of so and so percent. Similar language is in SGST. There will be imposed a tax called SGST. They both impose simultaneously CGST and SGST. Whereas when we talk about this rule 110, it does not say CGST or SGST. It simply talks about tax. When the tax amount involved is this much is the fees. So tax includes CGST and SGST both. If my entire tax component of an appeal is, say for example, 10 lakhs, so I'll have to pay 10,000 rupees as a fees for filing appeal before the tribunal. So this is my humble submission. Maybe can be experts who have different opinions, and in time to come, this will be clarified obviously by the board, right? Now, this staging part we were discussing, if the date of APL 1 or APL 3 or RVN is prior to 31st January 22, then the appeal can be filed by 31st October 25 or even by 30th June 26. This date, 30th June 26, is common for all appeals, which are where the order is, where the APL 1 or APL 3 or RVN is issued before 31st March 26. See, 31st March 26 also you get 30th June 26, because I said it is 3 months from the date of communication. So accordingly, for 30th 31st March you get 30th June. For all the cases, this is the staging done, and um, if your APL one has a date prior to 31st January 24, then December is the month where you can file the appeal. And if it is post 31st January 24, then you'll have to wait for the next year to file the appeal. You will not be allowed to register even. They will be asking on the portal. We discussed about e-filing.gst.gav. It has a process. They will ask for ARN of either of these three documents. Accordingly, the ARN will tell them whether you are still allowed to file an appeal or not. If you have an ARN which is pertaining before 31st January 24, then the appeal will be allowed. So this is from my side regarding the GST Appellate Tribunal process and the rules. I hope I have covered the all the aspects and have tried to make justice to the topic. Thank you so much. And if there are any queries, we can address to them. Lakshit.
Yeah, sir, thank you so much for the very interesting and knowledgeable session. So, if there are, we haven't received any questions as such. Everything was very
Because
well explained.
chartered accountants in today's scenario are not keen to addressing before the tribunals. Whenever I visit SESTAT, I find surrounding by the advocates, and there are some chartered accountants who appear. And this is a very keen area where chartered accountants have an expertise over the subject, but still they are not appearing before the tribunals. So it is a very good opportunity and one such area where chartered accountants can explore.
Yes, so let's all take that into consideration, and hopefully we'll have more chartered accountants.
If we can share my details, contact details, if the participants want, and they can write me through an email. My email is devendra@dkataria.com, devendra@dkataria.com, and I'll be happy to address the queries if any of the participants. And sorry, one more thing I would like to say, if you give permission.
Yeah, sure.
See, I'm also a member of the GST IDTC committee for this year, and the committee is working thoroughly for the opportunities for chartered accountants. And we have also launched a course on litigation. It is a 6-day course which talks about litigation. And if the participants want to pursue a career in litigation, this course is going to be very crucial for them. This is what I said in 1 hour is just a gist. It is a full 6-day course, and it will tell you everything from ABC to XYZ about the litigation, especially in GST. So, if the participants wish to attend that course, they have to simply approach their respective branches. The branches can take permission from the committee for organizing the course, and they can take advantage of this course. It is a well-defined course. Madhukar Hiregange sir has been involved. Our chairman Rajendra P sir has been involved in drafting this course. Various other experts have been there. This course is drafted like, especially need of the hour for the chartered accountants for practicing in litigation.
So we'll take a note of that, and with that, we'll conclude today's meeting. Thank you, everyone, for attending the meeting. Thank you. Thank you, Devendra ji.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yes, we can end the session.